Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's The Nerd Man. And this week I am going to be talking about sort of Harley Quinn, Joker, Suicide Squad. It's going to be sort of a Suicide Squad themed, mostly Harley Quinn sort of talk type thing. Yeah. All right, this one might not be as long as previous weeks, but I wanted to talk about Harley Quinn, Joker, the Suicide Squad. This is all obviously because the Super Squad, that's not what it's called. Suicide Squad is coming out to theaters, and I'm pretty excited for it. I've been anticipating this movie for quite a while, mostly because Harley Quinn is in it. I'm having troubles with words today. But I really like Harley Quinn. I mean, super, super duper, one of my favorites. So you can just ask my wife. I think she's just gotten to the point where she puts up with it. But anyways, let me talk about Harley Quinn, Joker, Suicide Squad. So to begin with, I'm going to start with my history with Joker first, because that sort of leads into Harley Quinn. But Joker, and I've talked about this before, and I think a top 3 video I've done, but Joker is, like, to me, the epitome of the greatest villain ever, and he is the greatest villain ever, in my opinion. The reason why I like the Joker so much as a villain is because he is villainous. He's insane. There's never anything good coming from Joker, and that's what I think makes a great villain. I don't like the complicated villains, the ones that are sort of like, well, they sort of have a morality to them in a weird, messed up way or something, or they play the fence sort of thing, where, well, sometimes they're a little bit good and a little bit bad and whatever. A lot of people say Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains. I fully disagree. I don't think he's the greatest villain at all. He has an imposing figure, which works for a villain. But overall, he's really not that great of a villain. I mean, he's really a good guy that did some bad things, sort of sent him on a wrong path, and in the end, he gets redemption for it and sort of switches back over. The thing that I love about Joker is this is just an all-around bad guy. I mean, there's no good about him. He's always up to mischief, trouble, mayhem, and that is why I like Joker as a villain. I just think you know where you stand with Joker. You know that it's sort of like the Nazis sort of thing, like those are the bad guys. There's a clear bad guy. There's no gray area about it. Joker's bad. And for that reason, I love him. I'm not like a villain lover, like I'm a crazy person or whatever. It's just that if I had to pick a villain who was my favorite villain, it would be Joker, and for those reasons. So, that sort of segues into why I also like Harley, because now Harley, she does play kind of both sides, but the crazy thing about Harley is how, I mean, for the most part, she's almost as nuts as Joker and very unpredictable. In fact, you don't know whether she's going to be good, bad, play both sides, whatever. In fact, sometimes I don't even know if Harley knows if she's going to play good, bad, whatever, both sides, switch around. Possibly even more than Joker, because she can sometimes all of a sudden be on the good side, but then by the end of the thing, she's in the bad side again. Now, I mean, I'm only basing this on a limited experience with Harley Quinn. I haven't read a ton of the comics or anything with her, so I'm going off of what I used to see in the animated series, which is where she was introduced, which is another cool thing that, she wasn't introduced in the comics. She was actually introduced on the, old Batman animated series, and she was such a likable, lovable character that everybody liked. They actually put her into the comics, and today she's a very popular villain. I think she kind of plays that sort of the both sides thing, so sometimes villain, sometimes hero. But it's cool to see where her character has started and where it's gotten to. But again, the reason why I like Harley is she's just nuts. I mean, you don't know what she's going to do, and she's so confident about it. And my bigger experiences with her, and I enjoyed her in the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham series. And the reason why I sort of like her in those again is she's so crazy, and there's sort of an attractiveness about her, but then there's also this nuts side about her. She's sort of this cutesy type, hey, Mr. J, and kind of being cute, Mr. J. I'm so bad. That's like, I shouldn't even try Harley Quinn voice. But anyways, but she's, in the end, she flips it and goes crazy. I mean, I love what her origin story is of that she was this presumably sane psychiatrist, and a prison psychiatrist for that matter. So, or I don't know if it was the prison or the asylum. I think it was the asylum. But anyways, Joker's there. She's fascinated by the Joker. So she tries to get into the Joker's mind, and through interviews with him and stuff, she kind of begins to have a sort of an odd attraction to Joker, which in turn becomes unhealthy, and to the point where it begins twisting her mind. And I think Joker picks up on that and begins to sort of twist her mind with it, to the point where she helps free him, and Joker's awful to Harley Quinn. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a horrible, abusive relationship. I mean, again, we're talking about villains here. We're not talking about heroes. These are bad people. They're not anything to be looked up to. So when I'm talking about my sort of excitement for the characters and stuff, you got to know I'm coming from that sort of, they're just great villains angle, and I just like them for that reason. Overall, all the stuff they do is bad, and you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't treat women like that or anything, the way Joker treats Harley. But from a villain standpoint, if you can kind of put yourself over there onto that standpoint, I love them as villains. So that in mind, I guess I want to move on to Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad's coming. I mean, I've been wanting to see live action Harley Quinn for a long time. A lot of these people have gone on to the screen and stuff. I mean, we've had different versions of Joker, and I'm not even sure about Jared Leto, I don't know how you say his name. Jared Leto's Joker. I don't know how he's going to be, but I have high hopes. I mean, I'll see when I see the movie, and maybe I'll give you guys some sort of reaction on my YouTube channel or review of it. But I'm looking forward. I mean, I was looking forward to this movie when they announced it, because when I first heard Harley Quinn, live action Harley Quinn was going to be in a movie, I was just giddy like a schoolgirl. Anyways, the Suicide Squad movie, the funny thing about it is I only want to see it because of Harley Quinn. I could care less who else is in it. But, I mean, Will Smith's in it. His character, Deadshot, looks okay and everything. I'm interested on, I believe her name is Cara Delevingne or something. Now, I mean, I don't know anything about Enchantress, the character she plays, but I did like her in Paper Towns, was a good movie. So, kind of curious to see what her performance is going to be in this. And, there's other people, Jai Courtney and stuff. There's people that I know that have been in different stuff. It'll be interesting to see how this movie comes together. Now, if you don't know anything about Suicide Squad, I guess I'll give you a little bit brief idea about what the Suicide Squad is. That it's basically a group of villains who kind of get hired by the government to be good guys, sort of. It's sort of like, hey, if you help us out, we'll lessen your sentence, sort of thing. You get some freedom. So it's sort of like bad guys playing good guys. But that's the thing. I mean, they're not good guys. They're bad guys, and they get controlled by various means. I don't know what that's going to be like in the movie. I know I did watch the Suicide Squad animated movie, and in that movie they sort of had like collars on that would blow up if they tried to, escape, or, if they didn't fall in line, sort of thing. So it's a government program trying to use villains to pull off covert ops and different things, with the idea, and I believe the reason sort of they call it the Suicide Squad is the idea that they're very expendable. They don't care. They're criminals. Just send them in. If they fail, so what? And if they die, so what? They're criminals. So that's sort of the idea behind the Suicide Squad. So it'll be an interesting movie. Definitely sort of an anti-hero type movie, which I'm getting a little bit sick of. I definitely like the hero types, but I love Harley Quinn, love Joker. I want to see how those two characters play out in this movie. And I think Harley Quinn's going to I think they're already in talks to do another solo Harley Quinn movie, or to some extent, a starring role for Harley Quinn. As far as Margot Robbie goes, I mean, I know she's been in a few movies. I think her breakout movie was Wolf of Wall Street or something. I never saw it, but, I think she fits the bill. I was pleased with the casting with her, and I'm not sure if I've really even seen anything with her yet. So this will be sort of my first introduction to Margot Robbie. I've seen her in interviews, and she seems very nice and pleasant in interviews and stuff. So as far as what I've seen so far in the trailers, I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about the future with Harley Quinn in the movies and stuff. I'm looking forward to if they do a solo movie with Harley Quinn. I think that'll be awesome. I know she partners up a bit with Poison Ivy. I think somebody else too, but I can't think of it right now. Anyways, if you guys have any thoughts, I mean, I'm kind of curious, like, who is going to Suicide Squad to see the Suicide Squad, essentially, versus who's going to Suicide Squad because they want to see Harley Quinn in a movie for the first time. And then on top of it, I mean, you have Joker. Joker's not really in the Suicide Squad, so I'm curious how they're going to play that out. Joker's sort of like Joker's unpredictable. You can't place him anywhere. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see how they play that out with the Joker, and even Batman's in it. I mean, the Suicide Squad animated movie was pretty good, so if it follows along the lines of that in any way, I think, this live-action movie is going to be pretty good as well. DC hasn't had a good track record lately, in my opinion, with the movies, so here's hoping that this will maybe launch them in the right direction with their movie division and everything. If it gets good reviews and stuff and good turnout, I think we could probably look forward to more of that stuff in the future. I know I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see. I might come back and be completely disappointed. Anyways, who knows? Let me know. Do you like Harley Quinn as much as I do? What do you like about the Suicide Squad? Tell me in the comments. If you want to hear me talk about any other topics or anything, let me also know in the comments, and I will consider it. And until next time, if you're on YouTube, keep YouTubing it up. If you're listening on a podcast from somewhere, then I will talk to you guys later. This is a shorter one, so I guess I don't have as much to say about Harley Quinn, Joker, and the Suicide Squad, but I'm going to wrap it up. I will talk to you all next week with a new topic. Bye. That was an awkward bye. Bye.